Hey, Rebel fans, Pastor Dave here from Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. We're excited again to be partnering with Chambers Academy and the Rebel football team for the 24 football season this year. At Lafayette Heights, we exist to be a biblically faithful, gospel-centered fellowship of disciple-making disciples. And if you don't have a local church, we would invite you to come to Lafayette Heights and find a place where you could be encouraged spiritually and a place where your whole family could be loved and cared for. Go Rebels!
Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located on Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, share specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it, and also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy.
Hey, Rebel fans, Pastor Dave here from Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. We're excited again to be partnering with Chambers Academy and the Rebel football team for the 24 football season this year. At Lafayette Heights, we exist to be a biblically faithful, gospel-centered fellowship of disciple-making disciples. And if you don't have a local church, we would invite you to come to Lafayette Heights and find a place where you could be encouraged spiritually and a place where your whole family could be loved and cared for. Go Rebels!
Isaac Horton, proud supporter of Chambers Academy, would like to thank you for your support in the coming election. Go Rebels! Newman's Farm Supply, located downtown on the square in Lafayette. Contact them at 334-864-7006. Family owned and operated since 2011, Newman's carries feed for all of your animals. Tucker Milling, Sports Mix, Value Pack, along with deer feed, corn, hay rolls, alfalfa bales, pine and wheat straw. Newman's is also an FFL dealer. Newman's also reminds everyone to get their CA gun raffle tickets. Raffle starts November 1st. The Chambers Academy Booster Club would like to thank the following people for donating guns: Dodge and Logan, Chambers Ledger, Crane Septic System, Daniel Lawn Care, Newman Farm Supply, Harmon Insurance, Jack T. Langley Wood Company, Quality First Drywall, Mr. Ice, Monkus Lawn Care, King Chevrolet, Diversified Mortgage, Sanders Logging, Brian's Transmission, Mitchum Auto, King Ford, Kenny Knox, Valley Collision, Allen Scrap, Teague Incorporated, Lafayette True Value, Alabama Georgia Wood, Keith Transmission, and Four Seasons Heating and Air.
Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show with Coach Jason Allen. As usual, we're here at Monte Alban 3 on the north side of Lafayette, and we always want to thank our hosts, Roxana and Louise, for being such perfect hosts. We really enjoy coming out here, so if you got a second, come out and join us. As usual, I am here with my partner, Chester Carter. Chester, it is great to be here with you tonight.
Sid, same thing with you. Great to be here. Thanks to the folks that are here right now. We had a volleyball game going on down at school, which run a little late, and we want to take this moment here just to extend our prayers and thoughts to the young lady from Abbeville who had a medical episode down there today, which delayed things. She is in our thoughts and prayers right now, and hopefully she's doing well. So CA Rebel family wants to remind them that we're praying for her. And the JV, just to give a little information about that, the junior varsity got their games in, and they fell 2-1 against the Abbeville Generals. Good hard-fought game by the volleyball girls down there. So if you ever get a chance, go down and check those ladies out.
Absolutely.
They put on a really good show, a hard-fought match down there. Just came up a little bit short this evening.
It's always fun to go out and watch the ladies play. I don't get to nearly as many volleyball games as I would like to, but they play hard, and they're going to turn that whole thing around and start winning matches very shortly. Chet, one thing else that I want to make sure that we announce tonight, Mr. Howard, David Howard, our director, producer extraordinaire, he is at the volleyball game, so we've got Mr. Handyman, the backup, Kent Nelson, behind the control panel tonight. And Kent's going to try to keep us out of trouble as best he can.
He does a very good job of doing that. So we also want to thank Farmers and Merchants for sponsoring the show this year, the Coaches Show here, and we appreciate their sponsorship each year for that as well.
We have great sponsors, and we do appreciate every one of them. Just as we do here, we'll talk a little bit about what we're going to do in the show. I mean, later on, but Chet, just in getting into our conversation about last week, it was a much improved, I thought, obviously a much improved result, but it seemed to me that we unloaded last Friday night with a totally different attitude and kind of a different force behind us.
Yeah, it looked more like our typical Rebel football that we're used to, gashing holes all over the line for the running backs. It was a good performance by the Lions out there, opening up everything. And what impressed me was the downfield blocking was so key, springing some of those running backs for big, long runs throughout the game.
Well, we'll talk a lot more detail about the offensive play and the defensive play and then the overall play with our coaches. But one thing I will say is this. We went back, and it wasn't like we've been missing it. It's just we went really and truly back to that blanket call around the ball on the defense. And then on the other side, we went back to seeing offensive players doling out punishment, running backs, tackles and guards and centers. Everybody got in on the action, and we saw some very aggressive hits last Friday night.
Yeah, it was, like I said, reminiscent of last year's Rebel team, just laying the hits on left and right. And, when there was a mistake by the opposing team, the Rebels took advantage of it. So, it was a great performance overall.
And again, the thing that I think was apparent, there were no big plays. We didn't give up really big plays. We had a couple of coverage issues that were more than we wanted to see. But we didn't give up big plays, and I thought we limited our mistakes. And I think that was really a big change from opening week. But it was really back to the way we expect our guys to play. This week, as a matter of fact, tomorrow, Chet, we move to region play against Valiant Cross.
Yeah, this will be, I think it's the only second matchup we've ever had with these guys. The Warriors, they're located down in Montgomery. From what I hear, we're going to be playing at Faulkner University's football field there off the Eastern Bypass. Great venue. I think that the last time we played them, and the only time, is we were down there in Montgomery and played at that same facility. It was a great setup, and it was very accommodating to the fans.
Well, I hope it's not as hot as last week because, again, if our hero Jeffrey Williams hadn't brought the electric fans, we all might have expired.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we would have been cooked down there. So much appreciative to him for saving the day on that as well. And, thank our hosts down there at Greenville, Fort Dell. They were so kind to us, and we appreciate the hospitality they gave us.
Well, we really look forward, certainly when you, like me, I haven't been to Fort Dell, you think about returning the hospitality like we talked about with Starkville and with these guys last week. And, you know, this job is, our job is to make the presentation of Chambers Academy as smooth as it can be, and we know that's the goal of the other broadcasters. So we'll try to carry our load on this end too.
Yeah.
Tonight, I'll tell you what we're going to do. Let's just get into a little bit of what's going to happen here in a few minutes. We have our typical 4 segments. In segment 1, we'll review last week's game in a little bit more detail. Chester will have his stats. He'll come up with some information, kind of review those, and we'll do more in an in-depth game play review. Then we're going to talk to Coach Jackson. We'll have Coach Neesmith in, and then we'll talk to Coach Allen. So we'll have that group in here in our third and fourth segments. It'll be the normal show, even though our crowd's a little sparse tonight. We'll go on with our normal segment display, and we'll get back to the game. I think we'll talk about the game first when we come back. So, Chet.
Yep.
Hey,
real quick, I just kind of wanted to touch base about what a strong running attack that we had last week. You know, you had Jacob Norgard, Luke Tarver, TJ Daniel, Eli Wharton, Landon Hand, and Jack Nelms put up some incredible numbers that we're going to get into later. But it's just good to see that Rebel rushing attack, and it was not just one player. It was spread them out among the offense. It was beautiful.
Well, the thing that we'll get into here in a little bit more depth is exactly that. I mean, we have guys down the line. We're gonna run a lot of backs at you, and you're gonna have trouble with every one of them.
That's right. That's
Absolutely.
right. So we're gonna get into those numbers, and we will catch you back after a few messages from some of our sponsors. Shepherd Homeworks, established in 2004, headquartered in beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, serving East Alabama, Lake Martin, and West Georgia. At Shepherd Homeworks, we specialize in custom cabinets and millwork built in our very own cabinet shop. Contact Stephen Shepherd at 334-234-1180 to make your dreams become reality. And go Rebels! Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. All right, folks, and welcome back here, the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show with Jason Allen. What we're going to do now here is we're talk about last week's game against Fort Dale, and we're going to recap that and some stats to go along with it. The Rebels came out of Greenville with a big victory, 36-7 against Fort Dale. That was the first time that the Rebels have met the Eagles in 44 years. Pretty long time in between that there. I was looking some of that up, and that was the Rebels jumping back into 3A region play, non-region play, excuse me, but it was 3A competition there. So in the first quarter, the Rebels got things started early with Luke Tarver, had a big explosive 63-yard touchdown run to get things rolling. And one thing I noticed about that was the offensive line opened up big holes, and some of the downfield blocking from like Eli Wharton just sprung him open, and he saw pay dirt probably from about his own 40 going down through there.
Well, we watched him, you know, he made that first little move to the outside, and he was just never touched. He was never headed, and he has that great burst, and it looked like the rushing game of the championship year. I mean, he really turned it on. It was a great first play, and I think our average rush was 1 for 64 is what we came up with in the beginning.
Yeah, yes, exactly. After that play, we were averaging 63 yards a touch.
That's pretty cool.
So, and TJ Daniel came on for a 2-point conversion there after that score. On the ensuing kickoff, the Eagles got a great return back down. took the ball all the way down to the Rebel 35, and a big touchdown-saving tackle was made by sophomore number 13, Bryce Modling. He had a big tackle there to stop that Eagle from scoring. And then the Rebels defense held strong right there and forced a field goal attempt, which was pushed wide by the Eagle kicker. And then the Rebels took over on offense there and drove down to the Eagles' 1-yard line, and that's where quarterback Landon Hand faked everybody out on that play and ran in for a 1-yard touchdown, and the 2-point conversion by number 21 Eli Wharton. So after the first quarter, the Rebels were up 16-0 against the Eagles.
Well, it was a big momentum switch in my mind. It wasn't like the momentum was down, but what it was more momentum toward our rushing game and our overall play, because we made that defensive stand and then we just drove the ball right down their throat for 80 yards. So it was a big turn.
Yep. And the second quarter, kept on going with that same kind of theory of running the ball and attacking the Eagles. Midway through the second, the Rebels' rushing attack struck again with T.J. Daniel rushing for a touchdown, extending that Rebel lead out to 22-0. Then the Rebel defense stepped up at the end of the second quarter. Colton Fuller had a nice pick there right before halftime, and we go into halftime. The Rebels up 22-0 against the Eagles.
Yeah, it was really a dominant, in my mind, first half, and our guys they did not seem to be headed at all. And, as we talked about in the opener with Starkville, their depth was definitely a factor with us, and I think our depth last Friday night was a factor in that game, too. We really were dominating toward the end of the second quarter.
Oh, yeah. So third quarter, Luke Tarver was at it again, had another touchdown run and a 2-point conversion to extend the lead out to 30-0 against the Eagles there. And then late in the third quarter, number 13, Bryce Modling, was at it again for the Rebels and stood up and had an interception against the Eagles. And that was the end of the third quarter, and Rebels were up 30-0 against Fort Dale.
Well, Bryce continues to play well, and it was interesting. We had bumped into his dad at halftime and it just spoke to us, and it was so we had that little conversation about getting him out on the island and him making great plays, and really did a nice job on that pick as well.
Yep. So the fourth quarter, back at it again for the Rebels rushing attack. Number 22, Junior Jack Nelms hits a nice hole for another touchdown, which extends the Rebels' lead out to 36-0. And then late in the fourth, the Eagles get on the board with a touchdown run and an extra point. And the final from Greenville was the Rebels 36 and Fort Dale Eagles 7.
Yeah, I think it was just an example of a team coming out, kind of pinned their ears back and went after them. I mean, we saw an awful lot of big hits, Chet, and we saw running backs doling out punishment instead of the defense most of the night. So a great big win for us, getting that record even at 1-1.
And some of the things we saw, from where we were sitting at was, they improved on the kicking game. Spencer was out there just ripping that ball. The starting field position for the Eagles was much different than what the Volunteers had in Starkville. So the special teams tightened up a little bit there, and it's a lot harder to drive 80 yards than 50, like it was the previous week. So good, job there for the special teams, trying to hem the Eagles up there.
Well, I think Spencer did an outstanding job kicking the ball. Kicked the ball deep all night long, and then had one really booming punt and punted well the rest of the night. So I thought there's a much improved flow in that part of our offense and part of our team. So congratulations to those guys. They really turned things around and played awfully well.
Yep. So tonight, this evening, the Rebels are getting ready to head down to Montgomery to play the Valiant Cross Warriors. Like I said, it's the second meeting we've had with them. Rebels will be kicking off at 7 o'clock through University. Football down there. You can make the trip on down 85 and catch the Rebels down there. The Rebel Warriors are coming off last week to Abbeville in Week 1. 27-26, late game there. So Abbeville is a 2-8 So that was a non-conference game for Valiant Cross. But get a chance, come on down to Faulkner University and cheer on the Rebels. Should be a good time down there. And like I said, nice facilities, and so it should be a good time for the Rebels.
And just one other note. It's our last of the 3 on the road. We are actually going to be home the next Friday, so that'll be an awfully good break to get back home and have a game. And then we go on the road one more time. So we have 4 out of 5 on the road, and then we have 4 in a row at home, which is awfully nice.
Yeah, it will be nice to get down there to Torbert Allen Field and get a home game in. So looking forward to that. But we got one hurdle before we get to that, and that's Valiant Cross tomorrow down in Montgomery. If you can't make the game, catch us here. Chambers Academy Sports Live will be on the air probably about 15 till 7 tomorrow, and bringing you some information from down there in Montgomery.
And it is a region game.
Yes, it is a region game. So, and folks, we want to thank our sponsors, as we always do, try to. Farmers and Merchants for sponsoring the show. Monty Alvin for always hosting us up here. Taffany Nelson Photography. She's always running around and catching all the memories for us, and she makes all the graphics for the games.
Getting our stray emails all over the place.
Exactly. 2-3 Collective for all the swag that they help us come up with, banners, and these banners right here within the for the show. And while you're at it, folks, go on to the Facebook page for Chambers Academy Sports Live. Make sure you like it. And, invite friends to join up there. And on the YouTube page, make sure you subscribe to it so you're notified anytime the Chambers Academy Sports Live is having a program on there. If it's football, baseball, softball, volleyball, anything, you can keep current with all the Rebel activities.
Absolutely.
And we also want to thank the Blue Button. 80 Nelms, down there, did these wonderful hats for us. We'd like to give her a big shout out for that.
80 did a great job. It was nice working with her this week. And now we have our own custom Chambers Academy Sports Live CA hats. So hats off to 80 for all their help.
Yeah, that's the good stuff there. But, yeah, folks, we're going to take a real quick break and come back to you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about some individual stats from last week. Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank. With 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community.
Welcome back, folks. We're here in Monty Alban 3. Chet and I are going to take a few minutes here and talk about some stats from last week's big win over our opponents down in Greenville, Fort Dale Academy. So, Chet, I'm going to turn this one over to you and let you just kind of run us down the stat sheet.
Yep, we're going to run through some stuff here. This is a high level here. For the offense last week, the offense put up about 450 yards of rushing. Some individual stats out there. Luke Tarver had 128 yards, 2 touchdowns. He was averaging 18 yards every time he touched it. That big 63-yard scamper there at the beginning of the game will really improve that number. Jacob Norgard had 34 yards on 6 carries. TJ Daniel, 134 yards on 14 carries and 1 touchdown. Eli Wharton had 30 yards on 2 carries. And Landon Hand had 6 carries, 106 yards, and 1 TD. And then Jack Nelms had 18 yards and 1 touchdown for the offense last week.
And when we were talking about earlier in the show about the variety of running backs, if you just think about the way Luke runs, Luke has great moves, but he will run over you. Eli will run over you. Jacob will do the same, but he can also get that corner and just run away from you. And we continue the trend of Jacob having a big run for a first down and a holding penalty brings it back.
Yeah.
That trend, I really wish we could get rid of that for him and for us as well.
Yep.
Landon did a great job handling the ball and showing his really exceptional speed, getting to the corner, making some cuts, and picking up big yards.
Yeah, and he made some critical decisions there to tuck the ball on a couple runs and get some positive yards on that. It was good to see his leadership out there too as well.
And Jack just was unstopped. I mean, he just got to the hole and was in the end zone. Just really strong run.
And for the defense, though, we got Eli Wharton, 4 tackles, Jacob Norgard, 4 tackles, Drew Shepard, 3 tackles, Colton Fuller, 3 tackles and an interception late there in the first half. Gabriel Bridges, 2 tackles, Bryce Modeling, 1 tackle and 1 interception there in the second half. It's a pretty good defensive performance there to hold the Eagles to no scores until late in the fourth. Was a pretty good show there from the defense. They had some explosive players out there, but I think we noticed there was a quarterback change at half as well. So I don't know if that was due to an injury or just trying somebody else back there.
I think the quarterback did get hit pretty hard early on. I think maybe late in the first half. But I noticed that they did bring in a backup quarterback. And you're right, it could have been just trying to get something going. But nothing worked against this defense. And Chet, we went back to that call that we love, but that makes this job very difficult. There are so many shirts around the ball, and I know that makes Coach Dillon very happy. You never want to miss a call. You never want to miss giving that credit. But sometimes, I'll tell you, it's really hard to know who made the first, second, or third because there's 4 or 5 guys around the ball.
Yeah.
And that's great.
Exactly right. So you have some information here you want to pass out.
Yeah, I think we should probably just refresh everyone about our offensive and defensive players of the game. Landon Hand was our offensive player of the game from last week. So, Landon, congratulations on that award. Outstanding. Our defensive player of the game, we announced earlier, Eli Wharton. Eli, 4 big tackles and doing a great job all the way around. The thing that I was so impressed with on this game was that intensity that the offense and the defense brought to it. As soon as they hit the field, it just never waned. I tell you, we were hitting people beginning and end, so it was outstanding. And we have one other announcement. We have one other award to give out tonight, and it's our Impact Player of the Game. And Chet and I are really happy to introduce our Impact Player of the Fort Dale Academy game, Spencer Newman. Outstanding job, Spencer, so congratulations.
Yeah, Spencer, he really flipped the field on the Eagles there. I mean, some of those kicks he had on kickoff, he was booming them. It was a good job him for kicking, and just some of the way he took over the line of scrimmage in some plays was just, he could plow right through there and just flip the momentum altogether with some of the plays he was making out there. So congratulations to Spencer on being named the Impact Player of the game.
Absolutely, especially on that kicking side. He really turned the field around, kickoffs and punting as well. Well, folks, we're going to take a break here again, and we're going to come back with our coaches and start our interview sessions with those guys. So we'll be back in just a moment. We're going to hear a couple words from our sponsors. Sunshine Heating and Air, your authorized Daikin dealer. Contact Kevin Keel at 256-825-4849 for all your home and business heating and cooling needs. Conveniently located in Dadeville, Alabama, and serving Lake Martin and surrounding areas. That's Sunshine Heating and Air.
Lafayette True Value, located on the Highway 50 bypass in Lafayette, is the only resource for your home improvement projects. Behind every project is a True Value. James Allen and his staff proudly support the Chambers Academy Rebels. And James Allen thanks you for shopping local. Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. We have Coach Kyle Jackson here with us right now. And, Coach, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well, Chester. Y'all doing all right?
Oh, yeah, doing good. Hey, we want to kind of talk to you about last week's performance from the line point of view and kind of compare it to the week before, and then see how things were going through practice. So can you give us an overall general, view of what the lines look like in the game against the Fordale Eagles?
Sure, yeah. So, I thought first week, we came off the ball good, played hard, knew we had a few things to clean up. I think we cleaned some of that stuff up. A couple of things that we had worked on in practice last week were blocking better downfield, blocking linebackers, that kind of that's what we put an emphasis on. Thought we did that better in this game. I had some guys blocking downfield noticeably better. Center, John Caulfield, was getting after it, going downfield, getting on those linebackers and stuff, and had some pretty impressive blocks. So everything we worked on, I thought we improved on. Kids responding to it.
We noticed that too, early on, as some of the blocking downfield was just incredible. I mean, Eli pushed a guy probably 20 yards back on the first play from scrimmage.
That's right.
And we saw that throughout the game there. So it was a big improvement on that, and a way to get a helmet to helmet back there with the guys. Mm-hmm. So anything else about the play from the line that you like to see, or?
We're just going to try to keep on doing what we're doing. That's kind of our style of football. Control the line of scrimmage, play forward for 48 minutes. That's what we're going to do. So,
Coach, when we came out in that first drive, it just looked like to me that, on the first drive we didn't have much of a view at all because Luke was outside and gone. But into the first quarter, it looked like our guys just unloaded, really aggressive, and just got after it. They had such a good, hard-hitting tempo from the get-go.
That's right. Yes. So that first play, we scored on the first play from scrimmage, and that particular play that we ran, the kids, my guys, they like it, and it's something a little bit different that we've been working on this year, and they really took to it. We repped it. I told them at the beginning of the year, I said, this has got to work for us. We're gonna make this just like our Bucks week. This is going to be our thing, and the kids embraced it, and they loved it, and they like running it.
It seems to me, and I think Chet and I talked about this. It seems like with Landon and with Luke and Norgard, we were getting I don't know if it was a counter, but we were not as wide. We were really cutting it off the corner there. Is that the thing? Did you make a change in that?
Well, just kind of what the defense is. It's going to change how where that turnup's at. So just kind of have their playing. It's going to whether it's a long stretches the play out or if it cuts up quicker like that. Now we like to get it turned up as quick as we can.
Right. Well, it seemed like to me that we, along with just that aggressiveness, like that, just the pace and the tempo the guys had, everybody just looked incredibly quick. I mean, guys were coming off the ball quick, guys were blocking downfield, and the backs were making. It wasn't like they needed to make an awful lot of cuts, but they would make that first cut, plant that foot, and they were just gone. We were actually blowing big holes and taking up huge chunks of yardage all through the first half.
That's right, and that's what we want. I mean, that's what we expect this week too.
Yeah. Okay. I think one of the things I want to ask, anything injury-wise from last week's game?
We got some guys banged up a little bit. I think everybody will be available though.
Okay. Good deal. How was this week's practice? I mean, you open with a loss, so your practice has a different tempo. You come back with a big win. I'm assuming that there's a tempo thing that you come up and you try to maintain. How did this week go?
I mean, I thought this week went good for, especially my guys. The guys up front. They, we were off on Monday, so kind of squeezed everything in a little bit. We got in there on Tuesday and. We got after it a little bit with my guys. We were full pads, and we kind of went full speed for a while, and working on game stuff for this week. This Dave's going to do some different stuff, and we're going to do some different stuff, and so we wanted to make sure it was all sharp, and we kind of went live with it best on best.
Well, I know that you and I had just exchanged a couple texts over the weekend, and you were going to grade out some film. Were you pleased? I mean, with your guys, did you look at your grades and feel comfortable with how that worked?
Yeah, sure. Everybody, graded out fine. Nobody, we didn't have any, no big problems. It's, same stuff like always. We're going to nitpick it and then do this better and that better.
You're going to coach, right?
That's right. We're always going to find stuff, And
if he had said no, I would have fallen out of this chair. I'll tell you that right now.
When we're trying to be perfect, that's
Sure.
try to be perfect, and maybe we'll end up excellent.
As we transition away from last week's win and we go into region play against Valiant Cross, are those guys looking at film or whatever your evaluation would be? Are they going to do anything different that'll challenge your offensive guys?
Well, they're pretty good. They're pretty good size, and they're going to be athletic. And as you don't never know till you play. But I feel like they're going to be a load, and we're just going to have to get after them and do what we do, and we're going to see if they want to line up and
Right.
do what we do.
Right. Because we know that when we get off the bus, whoever comes out, we're going to play them. We're going to play them hard.
That's right.
Well, Coach, I think it was an outstanding performance. I really enjoyed the entire game, and certainly the pace and the tempo was something that we have watched for several years now, and it was good to see that. It wasn't like we didn't see it the first week, but it was good to see it on the winning side of a ball game as well.
That's right. That's right. Yeah, and, it doesn't matter. It doesn't. That's like I told the guys, at the start of last week, I said, so we fixed the stuff, we addressed stuff in film. And I said, but you guys, we didn't play bad. We did what we were supposed to do. I was proud of our effort, but we didn't get a W. We got an L. So that's the only thing that matters.
Right.
And so, it's great to look good, but you got to get the W.
Right.
So that's the goal.
Well, as we head into region play, like Chet and I were talking about earlier, it's always important. You always want to get that region secured. So good luck on tomorrow night. We'll certainly be there to call it as best we can.
We
7
appreciate
o'clock,
it.
Montgomery. We'll be there.
Yep. Wear a raincoat.
Wear a raincoat.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Yeah, folks, we're going to take a quick message from some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back. The Chambers Academy Booster Club would like to thank the following people for donating guns: Dodge and Logan, Chambers Ledger, Crane Septic System, Daniel Lawn Care, Newman Farm Supply, Harmon Insurance, Jack T. Langley Wood Company, Quality First Drywall, Mr. Ice, Monkus Lawn Care, King Chevrolet, Diversified Mortgage, Sanders Logging, Brian's Transmission, Mitchum Auto, King Ford, Kenny Knox, Valley Collision, Allen Scrap, Teague Incorporated, Lafayette True Value, Alabama Georgia Wood, Keith Transmission, and Four Seasons Heating and Air.
Hey Rebel fans, Pastor Dave here from Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. We're excited again to be partnering with Chambers Academy and the Rebel football team for the 24 football season this year. At Lafayette Heights, we exist to be a biblically faithful, gospel-centered fellowship of disciple-making disciples. And if you don't have a local church, we would invite you to come to Lafayette Heights and find a place where you could be encouraged spiritually and a place where your whole family could be loved and cared for. Go Rebels!
Farmers and Merchants Bank, established in 1934, is your friendly hometown bank with 3 convenient locations in Dadeville, Hughley, and beautiful Lafayette, Alabama. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve your personal and business banking needs. Great rates, great service. Farmers and Merchants is ready to serve. Give them a call at 334-864-9941. Farmers and Merchants Bank, proud supporters of Chambers Academy. State Farm agent Mike Spears is your local and trusted insurance agent. Contact Mike Spears at 334-864-8772 for all of your insurance needs, home, auto, life, and more. You can also stop by Mike's office and see him at 401 South Lafayette Street, Lafayette, Alabama, on the 4-lane. State Farm agent Mike Spear, proud supporter of Rebel Athletics. Go Rebels! Isaac Horton, proud supporter of Chambers Academy, would like to thank you for your support in the coming election. Go Rebels! All right, folks, and welcome back here to the Chambers Academy Sports Live Coaches Show. We got Coach Dillon up here, and we're going to talk a little bit about how the defense looked last weekend, what they're going to be looking at tomorrow as they face the Valiant Cross Warriors. Coach, how have things been going this week?
Things are going really good. We're starting to figure some things out about ourselves, and really excited about this next matchup, excited to get started in region play, the games that really, really matter for us. Excited for the opportunity to play at a college stadium. That's always cool. We get to play on turf, which hopefully we're playing our last game on turf. So
that's right.
Yeah. So it's all good stuff. It's all really good stuff. Expecting. Last time we went down there and played them, it was a really, really good ball game, and we
was it 2 years ago?
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years ago. I think it was 21 when J-Rod and
it was a tight ball game. Yeah, it was a good game.
We should have lost that ball game. We played really bad that game, and they had some athletes, and they got some athletes this year. So,
well, let's take a look back at Fort Dale. How did you feel about your defensive performance? They gave up a late touchdown, but overall, they held the Eagles to very little offensive production.
No, defense played lights out. We had a really good game plan. They did some things that we had not seen them do, which would happen at the beginning of the years. Everybody's trying to figure out what they do best, and they threw some wrinkles at us, and our guys adjusted really well, I thought. They're really communicating, especially in the back end, which makes life so much easier, just understanding where everybody is and what makes sure everybody's on the same page. That's always a really good thing to see. So, I thought we played really well. I thought we had a really good game plan, and I thought the kids executed on that one third down play going into, towards the
left.
Yeah, where we were standing to the left.
Yep.
Not the towards the not where the scoreboard was. It was third and long, and they converted on a pass for us, and it was a busted coverage. They brought a little motion across, and that got our corners' eyes, and our corners took the bait, and they kind of slipped in behind us. But, the guys, we saw that, we were able to see that, and we corrected it, and they tried to come back to it again, and I think that's the ball that Bryce picked off. So, that's the biggest thing is being able to adjust, in game. They did a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and seeing your younger guys that are now getting the starting positions, them coming out there, seeing the mistake they made and learning from it quickly has got to be very rewarding to see that they're identifying it and correcting it right there the next play out there.
Yeah, it's everybody's got a job to do, and sometimes we get a little antsy in the back end, to try to fit in the run game. And it's just important to make sure you're very disciplined. So,
well, Coach, just as I went back and looked at the game, it had that intensity that I always expect from your defense. Guys were hitting, leaving the bus. It was a really hard-hitting game, and I loved the way that your interior linemen seemed to start picking it up. Your linebackers played really well, and it was back to what Chet and I have always, lamented. It's like, it's going to be hard to call this play because there's 5 guys around the ball. And that seemed to be going on all night long.
Yeah, that's the way we want it to be. That's exactly the way we want it to be. We're playing great up front. We're big and we're physical up front. The guys were just really, they were just hungry for a win.
Yeah.
After getting going, driving 4.5 hours and playing good ball and playing against another really good team and come out just short. The guys were just hungry for a win, and that's what we've been talking about. We want to be hungry for every single win, because what we're trying to do is hard to do.
Sure.
Coming off of a championship run like we did last year.
Chet mentioned something about your younger players, and we had 2 interceptions by young players, which was really exciting to see. And it's exciting to see those young guys. And there were more than just those 2. There were other younger players who stepped up and made plays. And, of course, you've got your core chaos guys who are just going to just disrupt offenses. Did you change anything up about assignments, or did you make any major changes to the defense coming into that game that led to this mix of players making big plays?
Yeah, we had Aiden was playing our safety against Starkville. But we had kind of been grooming Bryce to kind of fit into that role. We didn't know exactly when he'd fit into it. We didn't know if it'd be this year or possibly next year. And Aiden's started at corner for us, since he was a sophomore.
Right.
So he's got a lot of experience at corner. And he's one of our better cover guys, so we decided to go ahead and make that move this week, and we started Bryce at the safety. And, he did some things really good, and he did some things that were not so good, but, we expect that. You expect that, and he's a great kid, and he's going to learn from it, and he's going to continue to get better at that position. That's kind of like my focus point is, when we go to more positional groups defensively, the safety position is kind of where I go to when, we split up in the group or whatever. And I kind of go with the safeties, and so that I expect a lot out of that position.
Well, we saw what we have talked about on multiple occasions with you. Is like everybody's got to hit. Everybody on that defense has got to bring it. And I think across the board, we saw real big action from everybody, not only your starters, but when you brought twos in, I mean, they were bringing some big hits.
So proud of that group. I thought they played a phenomenal game, and except for one play, and that was a total miscommunication, which, is absolutely infuriating to defense coordinators. Everybody should be communicating. We only had 10 players on the field.
Right.
So, that's the type of stuff that, that just drove me crazy.
Yeah.
And,
But overall, I mean, we did not see a lot of penalties,
No.
and we did not see a lot of big plays against this defense at all during this game. It was a contained night.
Absolutely. It was, limit the explosive plays. Make them consistently drive the ball down the field and score touchdowns that way, and without an explosive play. And it's really, really hard to do. You even go back to the Starkville game. They couldn't consistently drive the ball on us. It was big play,
Right.
the 50-yard touchdown run or whatever it was. And those were just busted assignments.
And Spencer, though, had the Eagles starting from a much different vantage point in the field than the previous week.
Absolutely.
He was booming it down there.
That is a game changer.
Yeah, flipping the field like that, on punts, and then the kickoff was amazing. I don't know what you guys did to him, but he was booting that thing, almost out of the end zone. So keep it up this coming week,
yeah,
okay?
we need that. Like when we played against Starkville, their kicker was an absolute weapon.
Yeah.
He was a game changer,
Wow.
He daggum kicked the ball in the end zone from his 35.
In a small little wedge. It was crazy.
Yeah, and kicked the ball out of bounds, and then his next re-kick hooks it inside the end zone
It's crazy.
and just does a great job.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that's a weapon. When you can flip the field like that and you make them have to drive the ball 80 yards, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen very often. I'm just letting you know.
Yeah.
Well, it was a big win, and like you said, we're going up to Montgomery. We're going to move into region play against Valiant Cross, and I don't know much about them. Do you anticipate those guys are going to run the ball? They're going to throw the ball. I've heard through the grapevine that they're going to put it up.
They're going to throw it up in the air. They got some really, really talented receivers. Some, Division I basketball players that are really athletic. Quarterback throws it fairly well, and they got speed and the height, and those are corners. A nightmare, So we're gonna really challenge those guys on the back end this week. We've done some things to kind of mix up our looks, so we're not stagnant on defense. And I think they're gonna try to attack us on the perimeter with running vertical. And
Will you do anything different from a pressure with your up-front guys? Or will you just play at your straight defense and just try to take that backside guys and make them stop them?
We'll definitely bring pressure. We'll bring pressure from our guys up front. We'll bring pressure from our inside and outside linebackers. We're not going to let them sit back there and have all day. And so we'll bring pressure when the time is right, and we'll play coverage when the time is right.
Anything from your defensive group, any significant injuries, anything?
Yeah, Eli's a little banged up. He's nursing an ankle. So, we're going to try to take a little stress off of him this week.
Okay.
And I think we're going to move Gabe, let Gabe play defensive end, which he's played defensive end for us in the past. So we're going to move Gabe there, and we're going to rotate some guys on the interior and kind of feel it out.
Right. Got it.
So excited for that. Excited we get a new face in there to show us what they can do defensively. And, but on the other hand, we can't wait to have Eli back.
Yes, right.
Oh, sure. When I talk about chaos, the reason he was the defensive player of the week last week, every time I looked up, he was absolutely just destroying someone with the rush or making big hits. And, he's able to translate that again over to the offensive side. And he just runs hard, plays hard. And it's not just Eli. It's kind of a contagious thing with this team. And I certainly felt like there was a lot more of that spreading this week. I mean, these guys, they impressed me the way they unloaded and came out and really got after people from the opening kickoff.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what we want to do. That's what we want to do.
We'll be looking for that same intensity tomorrow night down there in Montgomery, and hopefully we can come out of there with a first region win and start racking those up so we can get home field advantage throughout the playoffs.
Absolutely.
And keep that going as well. So anything else for the good of the order?
No, I wanted to shout out to the Pee Wee team. They got a win again on Tuesday night, so
Awesome.
they are 2-0. They beat Springwood again, so excited for that bunch. And the JV gets to start their season next Tuesday at Fort Dale.
So they're going to Fort Dale next
Yes,
Tuesday.
sir. So
Okay.
we'll play JV and Pee Wee next Tuesday at
Outstanding.
Fort Dale. And so excited. That's
Yeah,
exciting. I know them freshmen, and I know them freshmen are ready to get started. They're really. They're tired of practicing and hitting each other.
Yeah.
They've had a couple extra weeks of hitting
Sure
themselves, so
have,
that's great.
sure have.
Yeah, we'll be looking forward to doing a JV game this year on Chambers
Absolutely.
Academy
I
Sports
tell you what,
Live.
the freshman class works extremely hard. Really excited to see those guys kind of take on leadership roles. It's always an exciting time.
That's great.
And so, can't wait to watch them perform next week.
That's outstanding.
Well, folks, if you can't make it down to Montgomery, you can catch us here tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, as the Rebels take on the Warriors from Valiant Cross. Folks, we're going to take a quick break here, and we're going to come back with some more stuff to talk about here in the last segment.
Craving some Mexican food? Do not think about it twice. Come visit us at Moneman number 3, located Highway 77, 1310 Highway 77, Lafayette, Alabama. We have the best Mexican food around. Cheese dip, quesadillas, farm specials, north specials, sherry specials, delicious salsa, the best salsa in Chambers County. Do not think about it. And also can meet the Chihuahua, Moneman number 3.
Star Insurance Group of Opelika, Auburn, Montgomery, and Greenville. With all of life's demands, buying insurance is probably low on your list. Luckily, there's someone who's looking out for you and putting your needs first. A trusted friend is right around the corner. The team at Star Insurance can provide you with great protection with a personal touch. When it comes to understanding your needs, you want someone who can listen with understanding and care. You want professional advice with a personal experience? Whether it's business, farm, home, or auto, their team can help. They're not just agents, they're members of the community. Shepherd Homeworks, established in 2004. Headquartered in beautiful Lafayette, Alabama, serving East Alabama, Lake Martin, and West Georgia. At Shepherd Homeworks, we specialize in custom cabinets and millwork built in our very own cabinet shop. Contact Stephen Shepherd at 334-234-1180 to make your dreams become reality. And go Rebels! Lafayette True Value, located on the Highway 50 bypass in Lafayette, is the only resource for your home improvement projects. Behind every project is a True Value. James Allen and his staff proudly support the Chambers Academy Rebels. And James Allen thanks you for shopping local.
Hey, Rebel fans, Pastor Dave here from Lafayette Heights Baptist Church. We're excited again to be partnering with Chambers Academy and the Rebel football team for the 24 football season this year. At Lafayette Heights, we exist to be a biblically faithful, gospel-centered fellowship of disciple-making disciples. And if you don't have a local church, we would invite you to come to Lafayette Heights and find a place where you could be encouraged spiritually and a place where your whole family could be loved and cared for. Go Rebels!
Hello again, everyone, and we're back for our final session here tonight. We have Coach Allen with us. Perfect timing as usual, Coach.
Thank you.
It's good to have you here. Let's just do this. Let's let you give us your overall assessment of last week's game first.
Yeah, I thought we came out early and set the tone. We were the more physically dominating team on both sides of the football. Well, we ran the ball really well. First play of the game, you can't ask for much better. We busted it for about a 64-yard touchdown. Luke Tarver did. Our offensive line, I thought they played really, really hard once again. They're doing a fantastic job. I think we've won the line of scrimmage, both games we've played. And then I thought the big difference was we took care of the football. We didn't turn it over like we did in Starkville, and that was a huge difference for us. And we didn't have a whole lot of penalties.
Yeah.
Defensively, they had a drive or two, but we kind of bent but didn't break. We got lost on that pass coverage there early and busted a coverage, but I thought our guys responded really well, playing on the road for a second time, and that was usually a long road trip, but it felt kind of short compared to week one.
It really was good to kind of get into that routine that we're used to seeing, and we've talked with both coordinators, Coach Jackson and Coach Nesmith tonight. The guys seemed to us to unload with a real sense of aggression, and I mean they got after it and stayed after it all night long.
Yeah, our guys play hard. I've been really pleased with how hard our guys are competing. The physicality, I mean, that's the name of the game in football. The more physical team's going to win the football game. Yep. Now, do we have some things we need to get better at? Absolutely. It's hard. Teams are making it hard on us to run the football, and we're still running it. We got to do some things to alleviate the overhang players. Their outside linebackers are really creeping in tight, and they're not worried about our perimeter pass game and run game a whole lot. But we're working on it in practice, and we're allowed to get better, and we're going to. And I tell you what, I thought a big difference for us, too, was our quarterback run play. We made an emphasis to get our quarterback more involved in the run game, and that really took a lot of pressure off our backs as well.
Well, the thing that we noticed right away was when Landon made that quick move, his quickness gets him through the line of scrimmage a lot of times. He can make a quick move and then pick up big yards. And he did that repeatedly. I mean, he got that corner and was downfield multiple times.
Yeah, he's the quickest guy on the field. He really brings a dimension to us offensively that it makes us really tough to defend. And he's a really tough runner. He finishes runs. Yeah. A lot of times I wish he'd get down or get out of bounds, but he's trying to get those extra yards.
I have that same thought occasionally, but I tell you, he's not a big guy, but I'm telling you, he gets after it. He just turns and goes.
He's always been like that. He's played quarterback for us since Pee Wee, and he's always been like that. One thing that'll always stick out to me about him is in the 7th grade, he broke his arm on a football play, and we got him off the field and got him over to the side, and his arm was crooked. And all he wanted to do was go back in the next play. I said, this guy's pretty tough right here.
Well, we were talking about earlier about the depth of the running game. And we have great depth. I mean, we have backs, that can just do, you got Luke who's just going to He's going to make that one move, and he's going to run over somebody. You got Jacob who make that move, put a shoulder to people, but then burst, just really go. TJ's kind of a combination of both. And then Eli comes out, and it's just chaos. I mean, you better be ready. And those guys, and then Jack comes in and just makes one little stutter step, and he's in the end zone. So, Coach, that's just a great testament to your run game. And then your quarterback, you take your eye off him, and he's downfield.
Absolutely. People talk about balance on offense and between the run and the pass, and I think that's really important. But one thing you fail to mention is we're really balanced in our rushing attack. It's not a one-trick pony where we got Bo Jackson or Herschel Walker back there and we're tossing it to him every time. We got 3 or 4 guys on the field at any time that can get the ball, and we try to create a lot of misdirection in our offense. That's our wing T roots in our offense. And so at any point in time, there's 2 or 3 guys that could be getting the football off the same action.
And I think that's an incredible point. When you talk about most teams, when they talk about controlling one of the dimensions, they're talking about controlling one back. Well, you don't do that with us. I mean, we'll just keep running people at you, and I think that's an excellent point.
No, we try to attack you from that sideline to off tackle to up the center to off tackle to that sideline.
And I think we do a pretty good job of it. Yeah. I don't know if you were gonna talk about younger players.
Well, I was just going to ask a little bit. We're going to be stepping into some region play now with Valiant Cross. Give us a little perspective of, because these teams are new to us, who in the Western or Region 2 would be a tough candidate to play against?
Yeah, well, Fort Dale, is one of those teams. We're familiar with Clark Prep from having spent time with them in 2A. They made the jump to 3A, same as we did. And we're familiar with Escambia. We've opened up with them in the playoffs the last 2 years. We have not played Morgan or Monroe Academy since 1994, I think. So, I've watched those guys over the years on video, and I have some video on them now. They're historically very strong programs. Yeah. And so, we our focus right now, though, is kind of on those 5 in the 1A East or 3A East. And, this is the first one. And I told the guys, this is different. We're playing a region game. We're playing on the road. The last time we went there was in 2021. It was a very hostile environment, and we were really fortunate to win the game. And we had to fight our way out of there. I remember that, yeah. And so we're expecting the same thing. And, the elements are going to probably come into play tomorrow night. So we got to be prepared to play football tomorrow night and get our first region win.
Well, we talked with Coach Jackson and Coach Nesmith about younger guys, and we saw just a really consistent improvement. You had young guys making interceptions. You had young guys making big plays. And like I said, you've got your standards, your juniors and seniors who are just going to create all sorts of problems. Yeah. But it's got to be rewarding, Coach, and it's got to make you feel good to see those young guys step up and make big plays and cut down on those mistakes.
Yeah, we really like our sophomore class. We brought some really good football players up. They just need some experience, and they need some time. They're stepping into some roles and helping us fill some depth issues that we may have. And of course, there's a couple of them we're kind of counting on as starters. They're playing a lot of minutes. And those older guys are kind of pulling them along and helping them along the way. Guys like Luke and some of those older guys are, they'll say, hey, this is what you did wrong. This is what you need to do. And just really it's been fun to watch them mature and grow. And I think we're going to get better and better every week.
Well, leading to that, one of the things that I remember you said multiple times last year, and we certainly agreed with you, was talking about the unselfishness of that championship team last year. Mm-hmm. I see a lot of those same kind of behaviors and trends with this group. They seem to communicate real well, and they're a tight bunch.
Yeah, I hope so. That's rare, and that's hard to find. And, in today's society, everybody kind of, wants the spotlight on them. But I think our kids understand that the most important stat at the end of the night for us is a win or a loss, is a win. So, as long as we keep that in mind and we don't worry about, because it's going to be different nights where different guys are going to get their number called more. And we just got to play for each other and love one another and play hard for each other. And I think this team will continue to improve week after week.
Well, I know that you've said it many times. You learn about your team in tough games. You learn who your team is and what your team's capable of doing as you play more and more tough games. Yeah. And I think going into a hostile environment, first region game, I think we can learn something tomorrow night, and hopefully we'll come out of that third game with a win.
Yeah. Well, the one thing I've learned about our team so far this year, Sid, is that there's no quit in them. And that's the first thing you really want to know as a coach. Are your kids going to battle for you till the end?
Yeah.
You know, and our kids are going to battle. It's our job as coaches to put them in the best position possible to experience success, because if they're willing to lay it on the line play after play after play, then you got a chance to do some really good things. And so I know that going over tomorrow night, I think we're going to be really physical again. The thing that we've got to do is we got to be focused. We have 3 keys to every football game we play. Is the first one is turnovers, second one is penalties, and the third one is don't give up big plays. We feel like if we can do that and make people earn it against us, then we're really tough to win, tough to beat.
Well, I'll tell you, the formula was on display last week, and we look forward to being there tomorrow night. May have a little rain, maybe a little bit of inclement conditions there, but we'll go in, like we always say, whoever they bring out, however they line up, we're going to play them hard.
That's right. We're going to get after them. That's the trademark of the CA Rebels.
There's no doubt about it. Coach, thank you very much. I know it's been a tough day running around with everything being late at volleyball, but thank you for being here.
Thank you. As always, Sid, it's great to play for the CNEA.
That's right. Folks, we'll be right back. We're going to have another couple of words from our sponsors, and we'll close the show out.
The Pig, Highway 50, Lafayette, Alabama. The Pig, the best meats in town. Beef, chicken, and pork. The Pig, the freshest breads and dairy and produce across Chambers County. Down home, down the street. The Pig, where customer service is #1. Piggly Wiggly, Highway 50, Lafayette, Alabama. Proud supporters of your Chambers Academy Rebels. Mr. Diesel Truck and Trailer Repair and Mobile Welding is a family-owned and operated business with 19 years of hands-on experience. We thrive on pleasing our customers with great prices, quality work, and a personal experience. We offer 24/7 roadside service for semi-tractor trailers, as well as on-site service repairs for heavy equipment. We also offer mobile welding. Contact us at 334-476-0393.
All right, folks, and welcome back here. We're just going to close out the show. Just want to remind everybody, tomorrow night the Rebels are heading down to Montgomery to take on the Valiant Cross Warriors. Should be a good matchup down there. Great perspective from the coaches on what they saw last week and what they're going to be looking for tomorrow night as the Rebels hit the field down there. Like everybody was saying, hey, bring a rain jacket if you're going to make the trip down there. Should be a little showery and everything. If you can't make it, you can catch us here at 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
You know, Chet, we always say this, and I know, I just want people to understand, it is such a pleasure to deal with our coaching staff. These guys, they take the time and they sit here and they answer these questions straight up. And, you know, it's just a pleasure. It's actually a privilege to be able to work with this group, and we're very blessed to have this great group of coaches.
Absolutely, it's great to work with these guys and help showcase what all these folks are doing for our student athletes down at Chambers and what they do for the community as well. That's so right. It is a great honor to work with these guys. And folks, sorry about that.
It's all right.
But yeah, we're going to catch you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock here, Chambers Academy Sports Live. And if you can't catch it, you can always catch it on the YouTube page, catch it on a rerun. So we'll see you guys tomorrow at 7 o'clock.
Thanks, everybody.